Hello and welcome to another week of openings with me, Zach Slagowski, as we go over all the main openings that you will learn when playing chess. This week, we're going over the Benko Gambit, which is a higher level gambit that you'll see when you're a higher rated player, but is something that a viewer suggested to me, so we're going over it today. So without further ado, let's just begin. So to go into the Benko Gambit, you first need to go d4 from white, and this is a black gambit, so we're gonna be playing from black's perspective here. When white goes to d4, black comes over here with f6, which is very usual for many openings, so there's probably not much that white's going to suspect. If they go with a queen's gambit opening, then you have more of a likelihood of the Benko Gambit even happening, because you need to push up here to c5. Now, most of the time, white's just going to push over here to d5, and then you push up here to b5, which starts the Benko Gambit. So the things that you're looking at when doing the Benko Gambit are to fianchetto your bishop here, get this pawn structure after getting your pawn over here to d6, getting your knight over here to d7, getting both rooks over here on a and b8, and possibly getting your queen over here to a5 as well. The thing is, with the Benko Gambit, you're going for a lot of queen sides attacks and trying to get to a favorable endgame for you as black. So let's look over a couple of variations for what the gambit will look like. From here, what does the fully accepted gambit look like? It looks like white takes here on b5. You then push up an extra pawn on a6, getting them to take, and you'll take with this bishop and then look to fianchetto from there. If they bring out that knight, we'll want to push this up because e4 is coming later. Again, what you're trying to do is get this fianchettoed. You're trying to get this knight here. You may be looking to get a queen here, and you're looking to castle and bring this rook over here to b8. So that's the setup that you're looking for. Most of the time, though, white's not going to take over here on a6, so you're going to get a lot of half accepted variations. So they'll take over here on b5, but when you offer on a5 or a6, they won't take. Instead, they might push up over here to e3. And from there you can take, and you'll get a slight advantage for white. Another variation that you're going to come to with a lot of with a half accepted gambit is after taking, you go here. The pawn will push up here, not allowing you to take here. Because the big part of taking here in the Benko Gambit is not allowing white to develop its bishop normally. So a lot of times in the Benko Gambit, you're going to see a lot of fianchettoing from the light squared bishop. So in the pawn return variation, after going to b6, the queen takes here, and white develops its knight like it usually does. We push up to d6, looking to also fianchetto and get our pawn structure like this. They push e4. We start fianchettoing. This is how the normal, how most of your Benko Gambits are going to end up. After the castle, they can move their knight back. We move our knight into the position, and then we get ready for a queen side push. So there are problems with the Benko Gambit that you might come up upon. And that's like if white pushes up to e5, disrupting the pawn structure early on. So after taking the gambit, they fianchetto right away. e4 comes up here. You'll want to castle, and if they come up here, you can bring this knight back, opening up this bishop, and you basically have had white overextend from this point. So they're probably going to be developing the knight here, but you can develop here, trade bishops off, get the knight in the game, close up the structure later on, get this knight in, attack this pawn. There's lots of things. There's a lot of flexibility when it comes to the Benko Gambit. There is a trap that you'll be looking at with the Benko if the bishop kind of tries to defend the a6 pawn here. So after castling and knight develops, the bishop is here. The queen a5 comes out here to pin this knight to the king. And if they do this seemingly normal development move where they're trying to protect this pawn from the bishop, black has a nice little trap where taking the d5 pawn, and after taking here, the bishop takes there, and then you got a nice little fork, and there's really not a easy way to stop it, because if bishop b2, you just take the pawn. If they go queen, you just take the rook, and you're winning from there. So that's something to look forward when playing the Benko, and the bishop is trying to overly protect this pawn. So the main things that you're going to be looking for when playing the Benko Gambit are after the pawn takes, there is probably going to they're either going to take here or they're going to leave here. You're going to want to fianchetto right away. After they develop the knight, take the pawn with the bishop, and then fianchetto, castle, and get your knight in a position, get your queen over here to a5, get your rook over here to b8, and you're going to be in a position to win. The nice thing about the Benko Gambit is it's going to give a favorable position for black in the endgame because of the pawn structure that we have here. you're usually going to have one pine island compared to white's 2 pine islands, and you're kind of looking to get to that end game as favorably as possible for black. If you like that video, please like the video and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also follow me at Twitch at twitch.tv/ZachSlegaski, where I play all these openings with my viewers and do arenas with the opening. Our next video, we're going to be going over the Sicilian, the Myers attack. That video will be here, and we'll see you then. Goodbye.